Hello, welcome to Ghost Farm Reviews. So a long time ago, there used to be the assumption that anything from China was a knockoff. And there was a bunch of Generation 1 Transformers that were from China that people thought were knockoffs. Turns out they're actually not knockoffs. In China, they didn't import Generation 1 figures until the 90s. And it was done by Hasbro. They had a different copyright stamp and they were actually legit Transformers. In this video, I want to take a look at one of those, and that's Generation 1 Springer. I'll show up the Chinese box and what to look for in a Chinese version or a vintage 80s US version. Now, it does get a little murky if you're buying just the figure because the copyright stamp is the same as the European versions from the 90s, the gold box issues, which I actually don't have any of those, but I do have a couple of the Chinese issues. Kind of a little interesting video, I think. Also, it'll tell you that if you're buying one of these, if it's a KO or not. The KOs are different. And in fact, if you are interested in KOs, you should go ahead and check out highendtfs.com. I'll go ahead and put a link down there in the description. And check out that site. There's a bunch of really good information, and there's a lot of KOs out there. But if you happen to have one of these, it's actually a legitimate Hasbro release. So if this is your first time here, please hit that thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button if you're returning. Hit ring the bell for notifications if you haven't already. And without any further ado, let's get to the review. Okay, so getting a close up to this box is Generation 1 Springer. And we all know what the box looks like, don't we? We have gorgeous artwork here. Change on top. Transformers logo. Got pictures on the bottom. Side. Other side. Beautiful box art. Now, first things first, as I was mentioning in the intro, this is a Chinese version. Now, how do I know this? First off, the tell is there is a sticker here with Chinese lettering on it. This is not actually printed. It is a sticker on the box. But that's really the only way to tell by the front. It is exactly the same as a US release. These boxes from Hasbro in the 90s, the same as the ones that were used in the US, all the way down to the material type. The tape is thicker, but if you go on the back and you look down here at the bottom, it says 1986, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and it goes through all rights reserved, and then it ends. It does not say made in Japan. There's also sometimes the sticker here, which I don't know what it says. However, everything else is the same on this box. Now I will show you. This is a US release Prowl box. If you look on the bottom, made and printed in Japan, manufactured by Takara. A 90s issue will not say that. They were not manufactured by Takara. They're manufactured by Hasbro, and that is very different. So let's open them up and get everything out. Inside the box is the same as you get with any Generation 1 figure. You got a baggie with the weapon. There's his weapon. Cast in that green plastic, just like the vintage ones were. You have the instruction booklet, sticker sheet, and I thought I had it in here, maybe I missed it. You still have a decoder. So there's all of what you have right there. It comes with instruction sheet. Oh, there's the decoder. I knew I had it. Decoder. So everything's the same with this. The same type of material. If you look, you can see the print on it. Good printing quality for a Hasbro issue. You get Springer himself. And now is the one thing that I would like to show you. So we get the camera in on it. So getting the camera focused in on here, there's the copyright. You can see it says Hasbro 1986. The rest of it is blanked out. There's no manufacturer country and there is no Takara stamp at all on there. That is because this is a Hasbro release and this is a 1990s release, and that is the one way you could tell. Some of them will say made in China. Generally, these were made in Japan. So they did switch manufacturing, and when they switched manufacturing in the 90s, they started producing them in China, and they were able to have the Generation 1s out in China for the first time. According to the people that I know in China, they weren't very popular, which is kind of interesting and odd to me because these are amazing figures. So I will also show you a comparison between that copyright stamp on a different figure real fast versus a actual 80s version. Okay, here is Sea Spray. Now, as you can tell, I have two different ones. One is this one on the right is a Chinese 1990s issue, and the one on the left is an original 80s issue from the US. So you can see the differences in copyright. This one here has been badly yellowed. Actually, it was badly yellowed in the packaging. But you could see the difference in that copyright. So not that this one is fake. It's not a KO. It is a Hasbro legitimate product, but it is a 90s, not 80s version. And now let's take a look at Springer as he comes out of the package. So he comes in the package with his rotor already folded. So just unfold that. It's bent. This is the helicopter mode. Well, almost. To get him in a helicopter mode, you would need to fold out his hands. And that's his helicopter mode. So again, Chinese, but he has all the same features and everything. Stickers that the original US does he does have the rub sign. Now, I believe the European one, if I'm not mistaken, does not have the rub sign. I could be mistaken, but I believe the gold box one doesn't have that. The Chinese one does. But these stickers are peeling off. These stickers are terrible on this figure. And these weren't even put on in the 80s. But so you can just look how he looks. I always like the helicopter mode in Springer, actually. Rotor spins. And of course, we have gotten other versions of Springer. Here he is next to his most recent Siege version in the helicopter mode. And I think this was Thrilling 30, the Nick Roche design. I think it was Nick Roche from the comics, Springer. Moving on to transformation, let's get him into his buggy mode. So take off the rotor. Go ahead and line the arms up with right here. If I could get it there. Oh, it's tight. Line those arms up, put those arms in that part right there, exposing the wheels. Move this back. Take the back end of the helicopter. There's tabs, just untab it. Move this up. It's on a sliding mechanism, so it slides forward just like that. And then you have his land mode. Okay, it's a land helicopter. Sure, why not? Here he is with the Siege version. I do have a full video on this if you'd like to see it. Go ahead and check that out on my channel. There he is with the comic version. I think this one still looks very cool. Yeah, Generation 1 Springer in car mode to robot mode. Move that up. We want to actually keep the legs like that. We want to pull his legs out, which this joints on these are really tight. So like that, that right there. Take his arms, move his arms forward. Take his chest, which is right here, and move that down. So earlier versions of this had a metal chest instead of a plastic chest. This version and the gold box version are plastic chest versions. He has these kind of weird arms that sit in front. It's very odd. His head sits very far back. That's just part of the charm of this figure. And there he is in robot mode. That's Generation 1 Springer. He has a very nice face sculpt. You know, overall, Generation 1 Springer, I think he has a lot to offer. I think he's a very weird figure. And you can, of course, put his gun in his hand. And this is one of the coolest things about Springer. His rotors become a sword. Really cool. I mean, he's definitely one that took me a long time to love. I did not love him as a kid, but now I dig this figure. I mean, he's got a little bit of articulation, and he doesn't actually look so bad, actually, and he stands up pretty well. overall, he's pretty damn cool. He is very small. So here he is next to Generation 1 Optimus Prime. I think they scale all right. But then when you get to Ultra Magnus, he is tiny. Here he is with Hot Rod. Now he should be a bit bigger than Hot Rod. Like I said, he is a small figure. But still, you gotta love the guy. I mean, the later ones have done a pretty good job of making him a better robot mode. But this guy just has a lot of charm. So if you are looking for one, be sure what you're getting. So yeah, if you're in the market for Generation 1 figures, please know what you're getting. Don't buy something that might be not legitimate if you're trying to get something that, if you care about that sort of thing. If the price is a cheap price, and they say reissue on eBay, that's going to be a KO. If you buy those, that's cool. Just know what you're buying. That's really the important part. Don't go paying hundreds for a KO. None of us really want to do that. These Chinese issues are Hasbro issues. They're actually not KOs, and they are pretty good quality. So thanks for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for this look at Generation 1 Springer and a Chinese issue, Generation 1. I'll see you guys next time.